Today I am going to teach about a very important chapter, that is law of demand. First, before knowing law of demand, you have to know what do you mean by the word demand. In common language, the word demand is synonymous with desire. But in economics, an effective desire is called demand. Now the question comes, what do you mean by effective desire? Effective desire means a desire which is backed by purchasing power and willingness to spend for that commodity. Now let us understand this with the help of an example. A person wants to buy a car, but if he is not having enough money to buy that car, then it cannot be termed as demand. Or he is having money, but he is not interested to spend for that commodity, so it cannot be termed as demand. Thus, demand means an effective desire which is backed by purchasing power and willingness to spend for it. If you want to define this term, then this will be a definition. It refers to quantity of a commodity that consumer wish to purchase in the market in a given period of time and at a given price. Here two words are important. First, given period of time. Demand is always related with time period because it is a flow concept. It is measured over a period of time. Similarly, demand is always expressed at a given price. Means when I say price of a commodity is rupees 10 per unit, then it makes some sense. So these two words should be there in your definition. Now the law comes. According to law of demand, the quantity of a commodity and price, they are inversely related. The law states that when price of a commodity rises, demand falls, and when price of a commodity falls, demand rises. Other factor remaining constant. That is a very important line. What do you mean by other factors? Now you must be knowing that there are different factors which are affecting demand, like income, taste and preferences of the consumer, population, price of related goods, etc. Law of demand will be applicable only in that case when price of the commodity is changing and other factors which are affecting demand are constant. It is also known as ceteris paribus assumption. That is why I have mentioned. In exam, they may ask you, what do you mean by ceteris paribus assumption? Now, every law is depending on some or other assumptions. Now, first assumption is there should be no change in income of the buyer. Because if income is also changing, then there is a possibility that law of demand is not applicable. There should be no change in price of related goods. Here, by related goods we mean the substitute goods and the complementary goods. Third, the commodity should be a normal good. Normal goods, are those goods whose demand rises with rise in income and demand falls with fall in income. Means it should not be an inferior good. There should be no change in population, because if population changes, there is a possibility that people may buy more at a higher